Okay, my friends, in this video, I'm going to show you a method of growing potatoes that is free, very effective, and just all around easy. It's easy to build, it's easy to source the supplies, it's easy to also disassemble. If you want to change your mind next year, make something else there, or you want to rearrange the garden or something, it's not permanent, okay? So I'm going to speak a little bit about it, and then I'll take you outside and show you exactly how to do it, all right? Now, this is the type of raised bed that is all natural. This is like a more of the earth, is what I will call it, okay? It's not the clean finished lines. It's not the hundreds of dollars of pressure treated lumber or concrete blocks or any of that kind of stuff. That's a whole different kind of gardening, of growing. You know, that's more for aesthetics and stuff. This is more about functionality, and this is going to function every bit as good as spending $1,000 on some kind of incredible whatever. This is going to grow you just as much food as anything, my friends, so don't think otherwise. Now, the sources, the supplies we're going to need is very simple. Just go and get you a couple pallets, all right? You can get those anywhere. Get a few pallets, pry off the boards, and that's pretty much it. Then get the potatoes. And you're going to need some kind of organic matter as well. Leaf mold, grass clippings, straw will work as a last resort. Hay can work, but hay will fill your stuff full of weeds. You know, so leaves are best. All right. Now, let's go outside and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to make this potato bed. Now, step one is to add some kind of fertility, manure or compost, and broad fork the soil or shovel it or fluff it up a little bit. But we're not actually digging into the soil. We're actually just fluffing up the soil, adding fertility, and then placing the potatoes directly on top, about 8 inches apart in each direction. Now the next step is to fashion the sides of the bed. Now remember, I didn't use any nails in this whole construction. So we lay out the planks of the pallet in the size that we want the bed to be, and then we simply pound supports on each side, kind of sandwiching each piece of the pallet in between two stakes that are driven into the ground. As you can see here, there's no nails. I just pound a stake on one side and then pound a stake on the other side and slide the board in between. Now the stakes can be made out of anything. They can be made out of pieces of the pallet that you carve a point onto, or old stakes for some other kind of project, or even sticks, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. All you got to do is just sandwich the boards in between two pieces that are pounded into the ground. Now, I'm not worrying about making cuts or anything like that. We're not removing nails. We're not doing none of that stuff because it just doesn't matter as far as the production of food goes. Okay, so it's easy and very fast to establish and free. Now, many people will try to say, oh yeah, but it deteriorates. Well, yes, this is true, but these I've had for a couple of years already, and they are still functioning perfectly fine. You see, the point of it is just to contain a bit of the soil and raise it a little bit off the ground. We're not trying to make 3-foot tall raised beds this way. We're just trying to make real natural kind of flow with the earth. You know, the roots are all still in the earth. It helps with drainage. It helps with so many things if you can just kind of, partition off your growing space. Do you see here? I made this with the 2x4s. Now this will last a long time. Yeah, you could spend hundreds of dollars on pressure treated lumber and all of that and countless hours trying to get it level, but that's not going to grow you one bit more food than this method is, my friends. Now, once all the sides are secure and you have the soil amended and fluffed up, then you place the potatoes on top of the soil, about 8 inches apart in each direction. Then you will add 6 to 12 inches of organic matter. I like to use leaves, deciduous leaves, as many as you can. They are a really good nutrient source and they break down, and it's the ideal thing for plants. You can also use grass clippings. That works really well also. As a last resort, you could use straw, but it's pretty devoid in nutrients. So grass clippings or leaves work the best. Also compost or just more soil. Those would all work as well. But this method works really well because they don't stay waterlogged. All right, this bed drains nice and freely, and it has a lot of airflow to it because we're using the organic matter on top. We just want to make sure that none of the potatoes ever are exposed to light. Then we just add more organic matter. Now, see here, I'm not even cutting these off because I like to give myself options. It's all about having options because you never know what you'll need to do in the future. Maybe, I'm going to probably tie some strings around those and tie up some of the potato plants from falling over. Who knows? So there's no need to cut it all off and try to make everything look nice and finished and stuff. This is just raw, organic. This is the way I like to do it, my friends. Okay, so this is going to grow you a boatload of food. And one of the best side effects of this method is that when you go to harvest in about 3 months, you don't need to dig down into the hard soil with a fork and ruin a bunch of potatoes or anything. All you'll have to do is take the plant and lift it out of what has become basically just fluffy compost. So we've just basically built a compost pile on top of the potatoes, and it's going to all break down over the next 3 months and feed and nourish the potatoes, which they need. But it's also going to, at the end of the season, once you harvest, you're going to have a mound of beautiful soil. All right, so this is a really wonderful technique, my friends. And if you're a little bit late to the game, Yukon Gold potatoes. Those are the ones, they're only about 90 days and they keep really well. So try and plant Yukon Golds or Pontiac Reds. Those grow real fast in about 75 days, but they don't keep as long, okay? So, okay, my friends, now you will need to nourish these potatoes over the season. So make sure that you have watched all of the fertilizers. I'll put a link to the playlist here. You want to go through and see if there's any video that you haven't made that fertilizer yet, and then make it, all right? Because we're going to be using those consistently throughout the season. Every week we have to be using these fertilizers, all right? Let me know if you have any questions.